A platform where women are genuinely finding that self-expression, safety, and also support amongst other women. They are talking about becoming financially independent, being empowered, and things like mental health, menstrual health, and sexual health. Former Z5 chief executive Tarun Katial's first of its kind women-exclusive social media platform Coto claims to have achieved more than 100,000 subscribers in less than 2 months of launch. And here we are joined by Tarun Katial, founder and CEO at Coto, a social community app exclusively for women to have authentic, interesting conversations with each other in their own digital space. Tarun, good evening, and thank you so much for taking out time for this interesting conversation. Tell us more about this app. How are you taking these women towards women empowerment in all aspects?
So really, when we started the concept or started writing the concept of Coto, and that time it was called Eve World, we realized that the world's not been very kind to women on social media. 1 in 3 women get abused online. The gender divide on the internet is only widening out. And unfortunately, more and more women go off social media because they're judged, because of the worry of not being able to have any kind of voice or having pertinent, relevant conversations that matter to them. And so we then realized that, it was time to build a platform exclusive for women, which was safe, which was secure. And along the way, we also realized that, rather than doing the classic social media, which was starting to die out, which was one-to-many, this was a great platform to be able to create many-to-many conversations, to be able to build communities where people could come with real-life experiences, would come in with, life that they have seen with issues like sexual health, menstrual health, financial empowerment, etc. And they could really support each other. But the one big difference that we realized we could make was through participative ownership. And Kavita, I think that's the movement towards Web3. The big difference that we're making is that we're making sure all communities are owned by women collectively together. We brought in blockchain to be able to build collectives in a trustless environment where smart contracts can make sure that women who come together to build this community are bound by a framework that can be long sustainable and make sure that all relationships and roles are really clearly defined between them so that they can make this into an enterprise for themselves.
Okay. Tarun, can you just explain me how does it happen? Like, for example, someone wants to talk about women financial independence on your platform. So they just come on your platform and sign themselves in and then start talking about it, and then women join in, and then later on you figure out as to what can be done in this particular community to maybe get them more empowered financially. How does it go about?
So very simple. The first thing is that for you to come onto the platform, you've got to do facial recognition. That is gender verification. That makes sure that the platform is a safe and secure space so that only women come onto the platform. You can then do one of two things, right? One is you can either become a member of communities, and we have a really good home feed, which can actually expose communities of your interest. So while you're onboarding, you select the interests that you have. And if you select financial empowerment, then there'll be a lot of communities that will have financial empowerment as their theme will show up on your home feed. You can choose to join any of those communities. Once you join those communities and you start participating in those communities through asking questions, answering questions, to be able to post some stuff regularly, to be able to indulge in conversations, that's really your participation. And all of that participation of yours is then rewarded to you through Coto gains, which will eventually become Coto tokens once we list them. Now, that's really a journey of a member. On the other side, you could get onto the platform and decide that I want to create a community and I want to get a bunch of financial enthusiasts to create this community together. So you could go on and create a community and then invite moderators or co-admins who become co-owners of the community with you. And you and a bunch of women who are actually focused around building financial empowerment for others could then run a community. Other people will join that community and you collectively can decide the roadmap of the community. Now, what could be the possible roadmap as owners of the community? You can then do either product commerce, service commerce, one-on-one, financial consultancy, whatever you think is relevant for your community. So if you're, for your example, if you are a financial empowerment community, then you could easily do advise on the community and you could make that behind the paywall. So you have the opportunity to go pay over a period of time, both with your content as well as with one-on-one consults, as well as with any other form of monetization that you think fit for your community. As the five of you do this together, your contribution to the community is measured through all the Coto gains or Coto tokens that you get for your effort in the community. So when you post in the community, when you get engagement in the community, when people upvote your answers in the community, all of that gets into your Coto gains, and your voting power as well as your revenue share of your community is linked to the amount of Coto gains you earn for that community during that period of time.
This earning will be in the form of crypto?
So yeah, Coto gains will eventually be listed as Coto tokens.
How many communities do you have, and who are the community leaders who are driving it?
So we have about 5,000 communities around different subjects and pertinent issues. So from people like Mona Singh, who runs a community called Meri Marzi, which is Mona Singh is a famous actress around social impact and women empowerment, to people like Seher, who runs a community of mental health, to Dr. Michelle, who runs a community on Wonder Women, which is around menstrual health. There are a series to Richa Anirudh, who's a famous journalist who runs a community around, how to really make life decisions. There are series of, key opinion leaders, series of influencers, and also regular women who are passionate about subjects who come and build communities on the platform.
Do you have any offline events or a meetup of these communities where you know the person and you like live interaction, or it is just online?
So there is one component of the platform which is called city communities, right? And a lot of influential women in cities build these communities. They actually do a lot of offline meetups. We don't really organize that for them because every community is self-sustaining. And you can imagine we can't really coordinate this for 4,000 or 400,000 communities eventually, but communities do on their own do a lot of offline stuff, and we regularly see that on the platform. They also do regular webinars. They bring in experts. They do AMAs. So there are parenting communities that do this. There are health communities that do this. There are career counseling communities that do this. So there is a lot of offline engagement, Q&A engagement, webinar engagement that they do on an ongoing basis.
For onboarding, so far, what's the data that you have? How many women are on board, and especially talking about the reach in tier 2, tier 3, and tier 4 towns. How is the app doing, and what's the talk about?
Yeah, we now have about 200,000 women onboarded on the platform. You would, be surprised to hear, or not surprised to hear, but one of the largest city communities is out of Patna, right? And out of Jammu and out of Srinagar. So there are a lot of tier 2 towns that have shown a lot of support for women around issues. Women from very small towns actually join in groups, and also now we're building in a feature of being able to post anonymously for questions in groups, because we realize that even though it's a women only app, issues like domestic violence, issues like sexual health, issues like menstrual health, a lot of women want anonymity before they post or even when they answer, and they talk about their own experiences in life.
Talking about communities, which is the community mostly where women are have enrolled themselves or on board?
Some of the largest communities, let's talk mental health, a subject or a topic that has only come into prominence now post-COVID. Mm-hmm. I think some years ago, none of us really gave mental health that kind of, credence, but it's, kudos to people who have built this community or joined this community or support each other in this community on an ongoing basis. The second biggest community is around menstrual health. Then there are communities around financial empowerment, women working from home, career restarters. So there are a plethora of communities, but the big themes I would say would be around health, around wellness, around financial health, around career. So, issues that are not really easy on places like Instagram or other social media apps.
Talking about the monetizing part, how attractive do you think this entire setup is that you have formed, of getting gains in terms of crypto tokens?
So there are two types of monetization for women. One is that for the first time, for all the effort that you put on the platform, right, for creating content, for engaging with content, for referring the app to so many people, you get rewarded. Think about it. WhatsApp is today 500 million users in India, and the entire network effect got built by us referring WhatsApp to all others who didn't have it, right? So we used to send out a message saying, hey, connect with me on WhatsApp. If you don't have WhatsApp, download it here. And what did we get? We pretty much got nothing. We only used the infrastructure to be able to communicate with each other. But 500 million Indians who really made WhatsApp what it is don't have any participative ownership on the platform. Coto is doing that very differently. We're making sure that for all the effort that you do on the platform of creating content, of getting other users, aware about the platform, you get rewarded for it. So that's one part of monetization. The other part of monetization is what creators lack today on most social media platforms. So to be able to do commerce very, very easily and end to end, whether it's product commerce, whether it's service commerce, whether it's your ability to do brand partnerships within communities, which is far more valuable for brands than regular posting on social media platforms. All of those classic what I would call monetization capabilities, which are only limited to the platform owners and didn't really come to creators, are now being made available to all creators. So there are two lines of monetization. One is really to build the platform, which is in crypto, and the other is to be able to monetize your content through brands and through users, which is in fiat.
Tarun, since it is an all-women platform, what about the safety and security and the privacy aspect that you've ensured? Because you're talking about various women-related issues and there are so many communities catering to that. How do you ensure the privacy that generally women need?
First thing, Kavita, and a very good question. The first thing is that we make sure you have to do facial verification to be able to come onto the platform. There are two ways. One is to do the gender verification through facial verification. The other is to be able to use a government ID, which is Aadhaar or a passport or anything else which mentions your gender. And you've got to upload that for you to be able to onboard yourself onto the platform. So that's one gate, right? And there's also re-verification after a certain number of sessions. So that if you're coming back after 30 sessions, then you've got to re-verify yourself, in line with what you verified with us before. So that's one. Two, for the first time, community owners do full moderation and have full moderation features in their own hands. So if they see a post that is inappropriate in their community, they have the right to remove the post. They have the right to remove the user from the community. So we've actually, really devolved the moderation aspect to community owners so that they can decide what is good for them. And all of this is not centralized by the platform, because one of the key issues that we've seen with social media platform, with all the good intent that they have today, right, their ability to be able to monitor what happens on the platform at scale is very minimal. And even if you complain, or report on social media platforms, by the time they take action, it's too late. So here is where, the entire moderation is really devolved and decentralized to community owners, and they make sure that their communities are a safe space to have conversations.
So the women who have communities, do you also do a scan on them and figure out their legitimacy and their authenticity and what kind of expertise they have? Is there a check done on that as well?
So the entire NFT program, which verifies these communities, is on the basis of some of the efforts that they take on the platform. So when you can refer more than 100 people, when your content gets upvoted a significant amount of time, when you create a certain volume of content, that is the only time you get verified. So the verification is not linked to me telling you that I'm a great person and verify me, or on other platform where you can pay $100 and get verified. Verification is when other people on the platform certify you as an expert, as somebody who can really answer questions, as somebody who can really refer new people onto the platform. So your effort in building your community and building the content and building the platform in turn makes you verified on the platform.
Last question to you, Tarun. What's then exactly the way you earn your revenue here?
So we have a platform take rate. For both advertising as well as commerce.
Okay.
We have an advertising revenue share as brands do partnerships and advertising within communities. We get a percentage of that. On the advertising side, we have a larger revenue share. On the commerce side, we have a smaller revenue share.
All right, that will be all. Thank you so much, Tarun, for being on the show and helping our viewers understand what is this app all about and how women can actually participate and just shine on your app. Thank you so much for
Look
being on
forward
the
to
show.
seeing you and building a community, Kavita.
Definitely. Game for it. Thank you, Tarun. Thank you. Bye. On that note, let's take a quick break, but then post that, let's talk about the general insurance industry and what kind of challenges, especially post COVID, how the scenario has changed in this sector after this break.